Good evening, Wired fam. How's everybody doing this evening? Hope y'all are doing as well as I. It's been a good week this week. We got a lot of good things to talk about. Um, Misty Martin, what's going on, Misty? What do you say, Misty? There's old Misty from Crappie Cove. What are you into? That is your Crappie Cove contact, guys. If you need something at Crappie Cove, you can give them a call. Misty is probably who you're going to talk to at Crappie Cove. So what's going on, Misty? Glad you're here. How you been? How's the kids? How's the hubby? How's everything going? How's Crappie Cove? And how is everyone else this evening? Like I said, we got a lot of good things to talk about this evening. We'll give everybody a little bit to get on, a little bit of a minute to get on, but some really, really cool things coming down the pipe with Wired. So we're going to talk about what's new with Wired tonight. All right. We're going to talk about, again, we're going to kind of recap on the tournament, on the Watts Bar tournament, because that was crazy. It was crazy, not good for us, but crazy good for some. So we're going to talk about the Watts Bar tournament for a minute here in just a little bit. We're going to talk about a new giveaway. We got a new giveaway. So we're going to do a new giveaway and try to get to 10,000 subscribers. You guys are going to help me, and I'm going to give you some free stuff in the meantime. So we're going to talk about that here in just a little bit. And let's see what else. We're going to recap the ACC tournament coming up because the ACC Crappie Sticks Crappie Cove tournament is coming up. So we're going to talk about that. It's coming in April. Let's see, what else do we have to talk about tonight? Well, several different things new with Wired. We'll get into that here in a little bit. So first and foremost, as always, welcome. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe before you leave. And also, if you're new to the lives, anytime you have a comment, no matter what it is, no comment too big, no comment too small, drop it in that comment section. Let me know what you got. I'll answer it to the best of my abilities. As always, I like to answer all the questions that I have in a night's live. And if I miss one, then please re-comment so that I can go back and get it. But I try not to miss any, okay? But comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys, as always. And when you get on tonight, drop me a hello, drop me a comment, say hi, let me know where you're from. That way we can see how far we're reaching, and I can say hi to you. So, I don't, if I don't ever say hi to you, it's because maybe you never commented and I've never seen your name on the board. So I try to go through the comments and say hello to everybody as they get on. As always, appreciate you. And don't forget, use that keyboard. That's what it's there for. Ask questions. Okay. So let's see who all is on tonight. We got Josh Sanders. What's up? Heidi Clark. She says Heidi's always asking about me and the Wired fam. So she says, "Hi Matt, how are you, Laura and the boys? Doing well. Everybody's doing well. Mom's good. Baby's good. Growing like a weed. Little Wired is growing like a weed. I need to get Little Wired on here and let you guys see him one night. He's asleep tonight, so I'm not going to go up there and get him. Because he's actually asleep. But next time I do a live and Little Wired is awake, we'll get Little Wired on here where you guys can see him. It's been a while since you guys have seen him. When you guys seen him, he was like this big. So he's getting a little bit bigger than that. Or he's gotten a little bit bigger than that. So we'll have to get him on here next time he's awake. Clayton from, I'm not sure how to pronounce that, but I'm going to say Louisiana. So good evening from Louisiana, Clayton. Thanks for being here, buddy. Bo Myers, what's up? Dave D from Lake Hartwell, South Carolina. Nathan Wood from Wabash, Indiana. What's going on? Jimmy Pratt, hello, hello. Misty, we said hello to you. Hello again. Jeff Branham, what's going on from West Virginia? Crappie Kev, hello, hello. Mike, hello, Wired from Clarksville Lake, South Carolina. What's going on, Mike? Michael Leedy, did I say that right? Leedy? What's going on? Thumbs up. Thank you very much, sir, for the thumbs up. I appreciate it. Guys, smash that thumbs up button. Hit that thumbs up button so everybody knows you like what's going on at Wired for Crap. Scary Barry, what's going on? Ashley Coffee, sup, Matt? Hello, Wired fam from North Lake. What's going on, Ashley? David Travis. How's that baby doing? David, he's doing good. Like I said, he's growing like a weed. He's 4 months old now, right at 4 months old. His health has gotten 100% better. He's doing very good. We're blessed for sure. So thank y'all again, everybody, for the prayers while he was in the hospital. Um, he is doing much better. So, like I said, next time he's awake and I'm on the live, we'll get him down here and let you guys see him. Okay. Tom A from Pennsylvania, what's going on? Major Brown, hello from Chicago. James Rose from Western South Carolina, what's up? Joel Nash, what's up? The Joel Nash in the house. Like the show Monday. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I think it was a good show. For those that watched it, I think it was a good show. And, uh, I enjoyed doing it, and it was a good show. So the results are the results. And they're out there for everybody. So it's just like anything else out there, guys. Everything can be looked at or portrayed in whatever manner you want to portray it or look at it in. So if for those that might look at it and say, "What, really? Come on," you know, we took basically all we were trying to do is what do different braids look like on Livescope, and what are the properties of braids? I'm a tournament fisherman. I want to know where my limitations are. I want to know where my limitations are. So where is my limitation with braid and the different braids, and what product is going to suit my way of fishing best? There may be products that suit y'all's way of fishing best. I'm going to say this first and foremost. None of the products we reviewed are a bad product. They're just all going to suit anglers differently. Okay. So you can pick which one you thought was best and you can roll with it. No harm, no foul. Never did I ever in that video say one was better than the other. Never did I ever in that video Monday tell you which one to go buy. I said at the end of the video, there it is. There's the results. You guys be the judge. Spend your money where you want to spend your money. So again, I thought it was a good video. It opened my eyes to a lot of stuff. I mean, I now have a new perspective on the different braids and the properties of those braids, and which braid performed in which manner and how they perform as far as on Livescope. So again, it was very eye opening. I think it was a great video and a great process to go through. So thank you, Joel. I appreciate you very much, buddy. Thanks for watching the video. Todd Pell, hello from Beaver Creek, Ohio. What's going on? Misty Martin says, hi, Josh. Ronnie Harris, good evening from Georgia. What's going on, Ronnie? Eric from KC's at Kansas City. Matt from, nope, didn't tell me where he's from. Matt, what's going on? John Maddox, appreciate the braided line video. Confirm my thoughts and experiences. John, I hear you. I agree with you. Since I've posted the video, there's been no short of 30 to 40 people that have reached out and said, hey, this confirmed what I was having problems with. I was having problems with X, or I was having problems with Y. And this confirmed for me why I was having problems. So, the point of this channel is not to get on here and have 400 million subscribers and make a living at it. I work for a living, guys. I have a full-time job. I play in the dirt. I mean, that's what I do. So, I'm not here to try and make a living off YouTube. Now, I love you guys. I love each and every subscriber. There's no doubt about it. And I appreciate each and every subscriber. And I want to continue to grow. I want to reach more people. I want to help more people catch fish. That's my goal, is for you guys to put more fish in the boat. And if I can do that, that's all I'm looking for. I'm not looking to make a living off YouTube. Okay. So with that being said, I want to bring good products to you guys. I want to help you guys make your time on the water more enjoyable for you. And I want to help you guys spend your money or not help you spend your money, but when you guys go spend money, I want you to spend it on good product. I want you to spend it on the product that's going to suit you best. Okay. And again, I'm not saying any of the products we reviewed, reviews are tough. Okay. Reviews are tough because sometimes people get their feelings hurt, right? So reviews are tough to do, but in no way, shape, form, or fashion did we ever say anything was a bad product. We're just saying pick the one that's going to suit you best. Figure out which one, know the properties, know the limitations, and then pick the one that suits you the best. So, again, that's where it's at. Okay. And I appreciate you, John. I know your experiences that you're speaking of. I'm pretty sure everybody else that I've been contacted by has had the same experiences, and have voiced them and thanked us and thanked me for doing the video, and they understand now why they're having struggles. So, again, I appreciate it, buddy. Thank you for the comment. Darren from Chapel Hill, Tennessee. What's going on? David from Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Hello, hello. Asleep. What's going on, Chris? Hello, all. Happy Wednesday. What's going on, buddy? Glad you're with us, Chris. Glad you're with us. How you been? How's the fishing? How the fish biting? You catching biggins? Are they spawning in Texas yet? They're getting close, I bet you. It's probably warming up down there pretty well, right? Andy Leonard, what's going on from Western Kentucky? Hello, hello. We got a hello, hello. RL Webb, what's going on? Major Brown says, what up? Sportsman's Paradise. Hello, Matt and the Wired fam. Greg here from Shreveport, Louisiana. Have a fantastic night. Thank you, buddy. Larry says, watching from my TV. I'm on TV. What? I'm on TV tonight. What's up, Larry? I'm on Larry's TV. So that's TV to me. I mean, I'm in somebody's house on the TV. What's up? Feel like I'm on brush pile fishing again. Hey, what's up? Matt T from Central Maine. What's up, Matt from Maine? Guys, we get Maine tonight. What's going on? What's up? You guys pulling in lobsters up there. Is there a lot of crappie in Maine? A lot of crappie in Maine, Matt? Todd Pell. When you have two graphs linked and have one unit on and one off and set a waypoint, will the waypoint show up on the unit that is off? Thinking of linking mine. Perfect intro, Todd. Thank you very much, sir. So we're going to announce tonight, or I'm going to announce. My wife always gets on to me because I say we, but man, I feel like it's a we. I don't feel like it's just me. I don't. Me just seems weird coming out of my mouth. So I apologize. I always say we. You guys are probably, she tells me all the time. She's like, I bet you there's people on there listening to you. Like, who is we? You got a mouse in your pocket? I'm just not a me type of guy. So, it's always we out of my mouth, and I apologize for that, but we're gonna stick with it because that's natural for me. So I'm going to announce something tonight, and since you asked this question first, Todd, I'm going to let it introduce what is new with Wired. One of the newest additions to Wired, and that is, bam! If you guys hadn't seen it, Wired Marine Electronics. Okay, guys, there's our new logo for Wired Marine Electronics. I don't have any decals printed yet. They're being printed, okay? So if you have had anything installed by me and you don't have a decal and you want a decal, let me know because I'm giving them out with every install. I won't put them on your boat for you. You know, I've had guys take boats places before and had things installed and they take the decal and slap it on their boat. And it's like, why'd you do that? No, I'm not going to put it on your boat for you. But if for every install through Wired Marine Electronics, you're going to get a decal. If you want a decal and have had things installed by me previously, please holler at me. I'll get you a decal out. But Wired Marine Electronics, we're on Facebook. So Wired Marine Electronics on Facebook, guys. Please go like the page. Share the page. Let everybody know that if they're in the Maryville area or anywhere in the East Tennessee area and they're looking for a good install on electronics, hit me up, Wired Marine Electronics. They can message the Facebook page or they can get in contact with me. A phone number is on the Facebook page. They can call or text if they would like. So, again, Wired Marine Electronics, that's kind of a new venture. I've been in doing installs, but I've kind of been I've been a little reluctant to name the install business. It's just all kind of fallen under Wired for Crappie, but it's time that we move away from Wired for Crappie with the installs and go to Wired Marine Electronics, because I don't want people associating the installs with just crappie fishermen. I mean, I'll install anything. I don't mind bass boats. I'll install anything. I'll install trolling motors. I'll install units. I'll install live scopes. Any type of electronics for your boat, I'm happy to install. And if you need anything done, out of my shop, I don't believe in putting boats out in the weather. So out of my shop, they come in the shop, they stay in the shop until they're done. Okay. I will never take a boat in. I will not let you bring me your boat to sit outside in the weather. So that's a big thing for me. I always hated when I took my boat somewhere was for it to sit outside. So we do not do that at Wired Marine Electronics. I would rather schedule you on a day when you can bring it, work on it, get it done. You come pick it up when it's convenient for you. So again, like the page, check it out on Facebook. I thank you guys for everything you do. And to answer your question, Todd, if you have the graphs linked and you mark one unit's off, if you mark a waypoint on, let's say, this unit, okay, and I have this unit off, okay, so I have 2 units right here. They are linked, all right. If I mark it on this unit and this one's off, when I turn this unit on, it's going to transfer that waypoint to this unit automatically. You don't have to do anything. It's going to do it by itself. It's going to realize that there's waypoints in this unit that aren't in this unit. It's going to link those together. Okay. So on a linked system, everything talks. Your waypoints are going to go to everything. Okay. It's basically like you don't have 2 separate units anymore. You've got one system, and it's going to transfer those waypoints to all your units, whether they're on or off. Okay. So if it's off and you mark something, when you turn it on, it'll be there. Does that make sense? And thank you for the question. Thank you for the intro into Wired Marine Electronics. I appreciate it very much. All right, Matt, do you think there is any, Mike says, Matt, do you think there's any truth to the thought of crappie moving to the north end of creeks to spawn? Yes, I do. On certain bodies of water. Okay. Certain bodies of water, Mike, I do believe that they will move. Now, this is a very loaded question. I'll try not to get in the weeds. Okay. Think about the way the sun rises and the sun sets. Okay. Think about the side of the lake that gets the most sun. Right? You have the rises, sets. There's a side of the lake that's going to get more sun exposure. Typically, the side of the lake that gets more sun exposure is the spawn is going to start earlier. Okay. So those fish, they're going to spawn in different areas of the lake, but it's going to be at different times. So the north end of the lake, what's that? Something just popped. Sorry about that. Train of thought. All right. So again, there's going to be sides of the lake. Hills are a big deal. The way shadows cast across the lake in the morning or the afternoon. There's going to be areas of your specific lake that are going to warm up faster. I can think of one specifically here on Loudon that lays east and west, and it generally always gets more sun for longer. I'm sorry, it lays north and south. So it gets, and there's no terrain around it, no trees around it, and it generally always warms up faster. It's up in the river on Loudon, and it generally is one of the first areas you can find spawning fish. It is the north end of the lake, and it is the north end of a creek. So to answer your question, yes, I do believe that there is some truth to it, but I believe it's more about the water temp and the sun exposure, and it also has to do with bottom content. What kind of bottom content do you have? Is it a lot of rock? Is it a lot of sand? Is it a lot of mud? Is it a lot of slate? A lot of shell? Things of that nature. That's going to make a difference as well, Mike. So it's a very loaded question, but I do believe, yes, there is some truth to it. Clayton, Matt, looking to upgrade my Livescope unit from a 93 SV UHD to a 12-inch unit. Any suggestions on the different models or which one to pick? Sure. I have the 1222, the GPS map. Um, it's a great unit. I mean, once you get into the 12-inch models, you know, do I feel like one shines over the other? I can tell you that I have recently got a 126 SV. And to be honest, my 1222 looks better than the 126 SV. Do they either one of them look bad? No, they both look great. But my 122 or my 1222 GPS map for some reason just seems hotter. Okay. And when I say hotter, I mean the returns seem brighter at the same gain levels. So it just feels to me like I've got a better picture because I have a little more picture, if that makes sense. Everything stands out a little bit more at the same. So if I put my gain on 70 and 70, seems like on my 1222, I get a little bit hotter image. I get a little bit better image than the 126 SB. But now I also have a 1242. That is very very nice as well. I'm sorry. It's a 1242. So many abbreviations. 1242 XSV is the 1242, and it's nice as well. But they're all. I mean, once you get to the 12-inch units, they're all comparable. I mean, you're going to get a good image on all of them. You're going to be able to see on all of them. But I would probably lean towards, if I was going to buy one tomorrow, the 1222 or 1242. And then the 126. But if the 126, I know the 1222s can kind of be hard to find now. The 1242 XSVs you should be able to get, but the 126 is pretty much everywhere, right? The Ultra. So, if you got to go with the Ultra, it's a good unit too. But that's kind of from having all three and literally seeing all three, that would be my kind of order of merit, if you will. But all great units. David from Alabama. Hello, hello. Terry Wade from Ontario, Canada. What's going on, Terry? From Canada. We crossed the border, guys. We're in Canada now. What's going on, Terry? Thanks for joining us, buddy. Clayton says, also wondering if I should upgrade from Helix 7 to Garmin at the console for down imaging, side imaging. It's probably not a bad idea. If you're going to run Garmin's up front, Clayton, it's probably a good idea. I mean, there's a lot of guys that run Humminbirds at the console and a Garmin up front. I myself run Lowrance's. These are the HDS Gen 1s. I love them. I absolutely love them with a passion. I mean, if I could take these upstairs and use them as pillows, I would, but they're a little hard, so I don't do that. But I mean, I really do love them. I've spent hours with these units, hours and hours and hours, thousands of hours with these units, and I love them. But you don't have to match them up. It's nice to have them matched up because you can share those waypoints. You can link them together. You have everything here that you have up front. You can mark waypoints on either unit. It is nice to have them, but I also like to keep my Livescope unit separate. I don't like to put a bunch of waypoints on my Livescope system, and I'll tell you guys why. Because when you put waypoints on your system, it eats up your processing speed. Okay, because it's always looking at those waypoints. It's always trying to track those waypoints. You ever go into your unit and you hit go to, and you can go through your waypoints. It tells you how far each one of them is from you. So it's constantly trying to keep track of your waypoints, and it's eating up some of your processor to store those waypoints in your unit. So for my Livescope unit, I don't like to put anything on it other than Livescope. I want it working at its optimal capacity for my Livescope. Okay. So I don't personally put waypoints on mine, but if you wanted to, you could. Putting one at the console is gonna allow you to do that. The GT56 transducer is where it's at. If you're gonna go Garmin, get the GT56 transducer. The 54 is a good transducer. Don't get me wrong. The GT54 is a good transducer, and it is very clear. You can see great. Side imaging's awesome. Down imaging's good. But the GT56 adds a little bit something to it. So if you're going to go Garmin for side imaging, down imaging, I recommend the GT56, but the 54 is also a good transducer. Okay. Oh, let's see. Black Flag Crappie Jigs. Hello from East Texas. What's going on, buddy? Brian Guy says he caught a mess of giants today. Several 2-pound fish. That's awesome, man. Congratulations. Curtis Hobbs, what's going on, Mr. Curtis? Mr. Lightwire Hooks in the house, guys. Which, let's see, which way can I move? Right there. Bam. Where is the stick out? Mr. Lightwire Hooks, Mr. Curtis Hobbs in the house. What's going on, Curtis? He said, hey, Matt, warming up in middle Georgia means one thing, time to go fishing. That's right, my friend. Hey, I'm ready to knock the dust off these things and get them out there on the lake because, hey, I haven't been doing that much fishing lately. It's been tough. I mean, it's been cold and rainy and snowy and windy and golly, it's been like in the teens and 20s and it's hard to get motivated to get out there and do it in that. But no, I'm ready. I'm ready for spawn. I'm ready for those fish to start moving up, ready for warmer weather for sure. All right, Kenny, this brings us into another one. Okay. So, Kenny Sparks, Matt, any news on the new Garmin Livescope upgraded transducer LVS 34? So, who was on the live? Was it last week? I think it might have been last week or the week before. Maybe it was 2 weeks ago. It was before anybody even mentioned, okay, the LVS 34. And I told you guys on the live, who remembers this? I said, think about it, guys. I'm just going to throw this out there. I'm not a conspiracy theorist, is what I told you. I said, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I'm going to throw this out there. Everybody knows Garmin's got their black box and transducer on sale, $12.99. I said, who remembers all these Christmas sales where they take, the Eco Map goes from $600 to $400, you know, the UHD goes from, you know, $6.99 to $5.99 or $4.99 or whatever it was. I said, now we got the transducer in the black box at $12.99. Who wants to bet me that Garmin's getting ready to release a new transducer? I said that on my live, I think 2 weeks ago. And everybody was like, I hadn't thought about that. Yeah, probably. Oh, yeah, I didn't think about it like that. Yeah, yeah. And then the very next day, somebody released what was supposedly a botched ad from Cabela's that had the LVS 34 on it. And they sent it to me in a text message and they said, did you know about this? This is weird. You mentioned this yesterday on your live, and here is some ad. Is this real or is this fake, you think? And I said, well, it looks exactly like the Lowrance transducer, but appears to be real. Let's see. Well, here we are. The LVS 34. It comes to light. So, hey, I'm not going to say there was any insider information. I'm just going to say I called that one. Okay. I called that one. So, welcome to Wired Marine Electronics. No. No. So yes, I have some information on the LVS 34. The release date is the end of March. So you're talking March 28th, March 29th before people start seeing these. There's going to be some that are released earlier than that, guys, but you're mostly going to see your tournament guys, your professionals. You may see a couple of YouTubers that get it. But most of the general public units are coming around the end of March. Okay. It is a real deal. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. When people start selling it, okay, like they are right now, pre-orders are happening right now. It is a real deal. Now, what does the LVS 34 claim to do? First and foremost, let me say this, okay? Because being that I do have wired marine electronics now, I do have a little bit of knowledge of what's going on. So let me share a little bit with you guys so that you guys understand this LVS 34. The LVS 34 is a transducer upgrade, not a black box upgrade. The GLS 10 that you have is the same GLS 10 that they're selling with the new transducer. So do you have to buy the GLS 10 black box? No. The transducer by itself is $11.99. The black box and transducer together are $16.99. And I'm going to double check that $11.99 number just to be sure, because was it $11.19 or $11.99? Yeah, I was right. It's $11.99.99 for just the transducer. So if you already have the GLS 10 black box and transducer, $11.99 to get the new transducer. Okay, $16.99 to get the box and the transducer if you're buying a new unit. Now, what is going to happen over the next few months? Okay, first and foremost, you're going to see a lot of guys that slow down on their buying of Livescope because they're waiting on the new Livescope to come out. What is this going to do? It's going to have, that means I'm going to have a ton of availability at Wired Marine Electronics to install your other units. So if you want something installed, holler at me, because all my Livescope installs this week are calling and they're like, is this real? Is this real? I'm like, yeah, it's real. Oh man, I just want to wait. I don't want to get mine yet. I'm going to get the new one. I want to get the new one. And I'm like, okay, well, I just pushed my Livescope installs out. Cool. No worries. I'm okay with that. So, another point of the GL or the LVS 34. Okay, if you're running an EcoMap unit, listen, if you're running the EcoMap Plus, the original EcoMap Plus that was Livescope capable, the LVS 34 will not work on your unit. It's not compatible with the Plus model EcoMap. The UHDs and the Ultras, it is compatible with. The 1222s, the 1242s, the GPS map series, it is compatible with. If you're going to buy the LVS 34, please look at their compatibility list before you purchase. You don't want to spend $1,200 and it not be compatible with your unit. So know which unit you have, guys. Make sure it's compatible. Okay. So those are kind of the points of what is it and how it works. Now, let's talk about what it does for the Livescope users that are thinking this is the next great, latest, and greatest. It is. Okay. What are they claiming it's going to do? They're claiming it's going to be clearer. They're claiming that the definition is going to be higher. They're claiming that the ghost tree, the stitching, okay, that ghost tree is the way that those beams, there's 3 beams on that transducer, 1 and 2 and 3. It's the way that those beams stitched together is what caused that ghost tree, because what would happen is those beams would reflect off the bottom of the lake and you'd get a stitching issue with all with the conglomeration of beams that are crossing in that area. So that's why it was always relative to your depth. So if you're 15 foot of water, 15 foot's where your ghost tree was, right? Because it's all those beams converging at one point, and it was having a hard time. The transducer was having a hard time stitching those beams together to get a clear picture. So it's supposed to fix it. It's supposed to be no dead spot, because all those beams stitching together would create a dead spot where you could not see your jig coming through that area. This is getting rid of it. Okay, they're claiming it's going to get rid of it. And also, it's supposed to help with separating brush from fish and fish from bait, and it's supposed to be better at it's supposed to have more detail in separating those fish on your screen. Okay, so it's going to do a lot of things. It's going to be the next step in Livescope. All right, and it's going to be nice to have. And that's just all off the hip. I mean, I'm not reading from a journal, obviously. I'm not reading from their website. I've just talked to a lot of people and studied it a lot over the last week, and it's going to be a good transducer, and it's going to be worth the investment if you guys are looking to invest in an upgrade. Okay, that's the kind of the beauty and the curse, if you will, of today's electronics world. Um, Before today, back 10 years ago, it was get a side imaging unit, and there's not really much of an upgrade you can do to side imaging. I mean, yeah, the megas and things have come out recently, but back when side imaging, down imaging came out, I mean, that was the thing for years, and it was just kind of, you got a unit, you got a unit. These are HDS Gen 1s. These things will read just as good, if not better, than a lot of today's units. Okay. Um, it's kind of not the age we live in anymore. It's kind of this thing where, there's just continuous upgrades that are coming at us year over year. And unfortunately, upgrading our electronics has become more of a household theme you know, than it used to be. So it just depends on if you want to make that jump, if you want to, upgrade or not. But that's kind of the idea of the LVS 34 and what's going on with that unit. So I can get a lot more into the details. The cone, let's talk about cone angle. So everybody knows the cone, the Livescope cone. The cone angle is not changing with the LVS 34. You got the same cone angle that you had. It's not changing that in any way, shape, form, or fashion. And the transducer is a little larger. Okay. Which really doesn't make too much difference to most, because it's rather hanging on your trolling motor or hanging on a pole. So the size of it, I mean, as long as it's not that big, as long as it's not a basketball floating on the end of a pole, I mean, it's really not that big a deal. So it is a little bit larger, but I want you guys to notice something. On the current Livescope transducer, the LVS 32, you've got all three beams basically side by side. On the LVS 34, you've got two beams on one side of the transducer and one beam on the other side of the transducer. I think that's what they're using to separate those beams a little more and get that separation, so that they don't have that overlapping beam situation and that dead spot and that ghost tree. So they've kind of separated those beams from side to side of that transducer. There is a thumb knob to tighten it down instead of that screw that everybody hated with the original Livescope, that inset screw that you can't get to, that's a pain in the butt. They're getting rid of that. There's a thumb knob on the outside of the transducer. It's very easy to attach, very easy to loosen, take off, spin, the down mode, forward mode, so on and so forth, however you want to do it. And very easy to tighten back down, should stay tight. I mean, they've made some great improvements on the transducer itself as well. So if anybody's interested in the LVS 34, hit me up. I can certainly order for you if you're interested in LVS 34. So let me know if you're looking to get into an LVS 34. Okay. So Skylar from Ohio, what up? No slack outdoors. When buying a trolling motor with Mega down imaging, should I not get the Helix 10 with Mega? How does the trolling motor Mega image work with Helix as far as using Mega? All right. So when buying a trolling motor, my Ultrex actually has the Mega imaging transducer, the down imaging transducer in it, but I don't have birds on the front of the boat. Okay. I don't have a unit on the front of the boat outside of Livescope anymore, to be honest with you. This is my side imaging unit. It's an HDS 10 Gen 1, and I have an HDS 8 down here that I use for my mapping and my down imaging. So these are my two babies. That's it up front. Livescope 1222. I don't touch anything else up front anymore. But to answer your question, the Mega imaging on that trolling motor, you're not going to get any different image, okay, as far as your image quality as you would on the back of the boat. As long as, now listen to me, it's very important, with down imaging, okay, the boat has to be in motion for you to get a good picture. So any down imaging transducer, whether it's on the front of the boat or the back of the boat, the boat has to be in motion for you to get a good image. You'll still get an image, but it's going to look very blurry if you're sitting still. It's just going to look like a large blur. You can still use it and pick fish out, but it's a blur. You have to be moving in motion to get a good image, okay? So unless you're moving, the mega imaging transducer and the down imaging isn't going to do you a lot of good. But if you're moving around and using your trolling motor to look below the boat with your down imaging, it's great. Keep in mind, it also will distort the picture anytime you twist the head of your trolling motor. Because again, you've got a down imaging cone. Okay, you've got your down imaging cone that comes down like this. And let's say there's a tree that comes to the middle of that cone and you spin the trolling motor. Okay, it's going to spin that tree. It's going to spin the image. Does that make sense? Because if you've got an image here, all right, and I take it and I spin that image over here, you're looking at it from a different angle. You're looking at the side of it instead of the front of it. So, if you're on your trolling motor and you're using your down imaging and you turn the head, it's going to distort the image. It's just like turning the boat on side imaging. If you've got your side imaging running and you're going in a straight line, the best way to get a good side imaging picture is a nice straight steady line at a steady speed. Speed varies. I run anywhere from 4 to 5 mile per hour when I'm running my side imaging and my down imaging. That's where my images show up the best, is between 4 and 5 mile an hour. But if I were to be going 4 mile an hour in a straight line and I start turning, then the left side of my screen is going to get blurry because I'm coming in and I'm overlaying. Okay, at that point, I'm overlaying that image on the inside of the boat because I'm turning it. So you're going to get a distorted image on your screen. So same thing with your trolling motor. If you turn that trolling motor, that down imaging isn't going to show up as well. But again, you're not going to get any different images as long as you're going in a straight line at a steady speed. Your image quality is not going to be different on the trolling motor or on the transom. Okay, so great product, great transducer, same transducer that you put on the transom, and it'll work for you. It just, you got to make sure that you get that good straight line and that you're moving at a good speed. And as far as getting a helix, to pair with it, a lot of guys do. A lot of guys, they buy a Humminbird product like the Ultrex, Johnson Outdoor product. They want Humminbirds to pair with it. It's the one boat system, right? They want the Ultrex to pair with the Humminbird, to pair with the Megas on the deck or on the console. I mean, some people like to have that one boat system. So it's personal opinion, no slack. If you want that one boat system, sure, absolutely. They're great units. Um, I just like the Lowrances because they fit my eye better. Okay. So than the Humminbirds. But I've run Humminbirds, I've run Megas. It's the Lowrances for me is where it's at. Okay. Asleep said yes, it'll be spawning the next week if the weather holds. Some are catching small males in 2 feet of water, but the big girls are not at the 10 to 12 feet yet, still moving up creeks. All right. Bid Kid, anybody else having problems not getting notifications when he's going live? Huh. I hope not. Um, Yeah, I hope not, Bid Kid. Sorry if you are. I'm not real sure how to handle, or I'm not real sure how to correct that. You can always try unsubscribing and resubscribing. Hit the notification bell. That's probably what it is. Bid Kid, have you hit the notification bell? The notification bell will notify you that I'm going live. Subscribing is great, but you smash that notification bell if you want notified every time I go live or post a video. That may be it. I don't know. You may come back and say, I did that already, dummy, which is okay. I'm okay with that. But I don't know. That would be the only thing I could think of. David Baker, normally the northeast of most lakes warm up sooner. Yes, that's right. They get the most sun exposure. Uh, Scary Barry. Planning a trip to Chickamauga either mid-April or mid-May. Is there a big variation in spawn from April to May? Crappie and bass. Yo. Crappie, yes. Crappie, yes. Bass, no. Okay. Chickamauga will be done. Chick will be done by mid-May. And the reason Chick will be done by mid-May is because it's a shallow water reservoir for the most part. Now people are going to come back and say there's deep water in there. There is, but for the most part, Chick is shallow as a whole. It's a shallow water reservoir, and it heats up quick. And the crappie population is 90% black crappie. So black crappie spawn first; they go earlier. And Chick is going to be done by mid-May. So if you're wanting to fish spawn, I would go mid-April for sure. Cody from Elizabethton, Tennessee. What's going on? Mike, he says he misses some LVS 34 talk. Well, we talked a little bit about it. I think we're going to talk about it a little bit more because I just got a text message. Does that answer your question, Barry? Yeah. Barry said that comment sold me on April. All right. Gary, Sunday, I'm wanting to go to a 12-inch screen. I have Livescope, but I had also planned on using it for regular fish finder also. What would be the best 12-inch monitor for me? You're going to use it, the 12-inch. Do you have a 9-inch now, or what do you have now? You say I'm wanting to go to a 12-inch screen. So I have Livescope, but I also have planned on using it for reg fish finder also. What would be the 12? So again, the 12-inch monitor question. I mean, any of Garmin's 12-inch monitors, the 1222, the 1242, or the 126, all great units. You know, really, it's not going to make much difference which one you go with. They're all great units. The 1222 comes without a transducer, and the 1242 XSV is transducer capable, but you can get it. Well, you can get all of them without a transducer. If you're wanting to use, if you have a unit now and you're wanting to use a unit for everything else, my suggestion would be get the 12-inch monitor, whichever one you prefer. It really boils down to, do you want touchscreen or do you not want touchscreen? So if you don't want a touchscreen unit, the 1222, 1242. If you want a touchscreen unit, I'd go 126. I should have said that earlier, and I apologize I didn't. But if you have a unit currently, I would take that unit and use it for everything else. So I would use my other unit, whether it be a 9 or a 10 or whatever you have. I would use that for my side imaging, down imaging, and mapping. I would leave my 12-inch unit for my Garmin. Okay. Dan Long, Matt, I got my 32, my LVS 32 for 4 months, used 5 times. I've yet to get used to it. Now a new one. Sigh. I think you are in the same boat as a lot of other guys, Dan, to be honest with you. I apologize. I can honestly say that there are a lot of dealers and a lot of people out there that had absolutely no idea that it was coming out. Okay. I'm sure there are some that did, but I can honestly say there's a lot of people out there that did not know it was coming, and until right before it hit. The accidental release from Cabela's, right? I'm sure there's a lot of people that didn't know about it, and I'm sure there's a lot of people that are in your same boat that just got their 32 and now they're going, crap, a 34. I've been in that boat before, where I've bought. actually, when I got my first unit, my first Livescope unit, it was the 93 SV Plus, EcoMat Plus, and as soon as I got the Plus, they came out with the UHD, and it was like, crap. Okay, well now mine's no longer any good, or maybe it was the Ultra. Maybe it was the Ultra. I don't remember the exact release dates now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, my Plus was outdated when I got it, so there you go. And then the 1222 came out, and they since have slowed down the 1222 as well when I got my 1222. So it happens all the time, buddy. I hate to say that it just happens, but it does. Doesn't make the 32 any less of a transducer. I mean, look, let's be honest about it. Guys have been fishing with the 32 for years now. The LVS 32 is a great transducer. It works fine. Does it have its little quirks? Sure, but it works. You can use it all day, every day. It's not going to affect the way you catch fish. It's not going to affect the way you see fish or catch fish. It's still a good transducer. Matt's got the same size that Dan has. It's going to be all right, guys. Promise. Mark says Russell Marine has an on the water video on it. They posted this morning. They do. Yeah, Bass Tank has one on the water too that they posted. Ike Rhodes, discuss your mounting of your transducer, of my Livescope transducer. Is that what you're talking about? I would love to. The LVS 32 or the LVS 34, because they're going to be mounted different. Let me move up here. Let's go to the business end. All right. Hang on, guys. All right. So this is my LVS 32, okay, on my Fishing Specialties pole. As you can see, okay, as you can see, I'm using, they have a, so Fishing Specialties has a puck that goes on the bottom of the pole that you use the transom bracket, okay, this is the metal transom bracket that comes with your unit, okay, mounts to the bottom of this puck, and then your transducer mounts to the transom bracket, okay. That allows, it's going to be hard to do this because I don't have a whole lot of cable. That allows that to be straight. There's no cant. There's no 7-degree offset. It's straight up and down on that pole. Okay. So now everybody's going to say, well, Matt, wait a minute. What about the 34? How's the 34 going to mount? Is it going to mount this same way? No, it is not. Okay. So hang on. Let me put this back in the holder, which is this simple. Okay. Drops right in there. So, Matt, the LVS 34, how's it going to mount to the pole? Well, right now, okay, the LVS 34 is so new that it will mount to that pole. That pole is of the diameter that you can take the clamp, the same clamp that clamps on your trolling motor, and you can put it on the bottom of the pole and use it the exact same way, okay, that you do on your trolling motor. So again, it's going to mount on that pole just fine. Is Fishing Specialties going to come out with some kind of mount to make it 0 degrees? Yes, that will be out soon. Okay, so they are going to get that all on the market before the LVS 34 comes out. They're going to get a 0-degree mount for the bottom of the pole to keep it right on the bottom of the pole like that one is currently. Okay, I've talked to them already, and they said that that's coming. They're going to work on it, have it ready before the transducers come out. So very good question. I appreciate that that question very much. That's how I mount the transducer. And listen, let me say this, because I got a phone call the other day from a gentleman, and he said, my Livescope won't work. I can't see anything unless it's directly underneath the pole. He said, I don't know why, I don't know what's going on. Now somebody's going to say he had it in down mode. No, he didn't. He didn't have it in down mode. All right, listen to me, please. If you're going to do the install, okay, if you're going to do your own install, that's fine. But know the way to install your pole and know the way to install your transducer. When you read the instructions from Garmin, they're going to talk about port and starboard side of your transducer and the orientation of that transducer port and starboard side. If you put it on a pole, guys, there is no port and starboard side. It's just straight forward, level, forward view. Now, the LVS 34 is going to be a little different. I'm talking 32, okay? There is no port and starboard. It will always go on the left-hand side of the pole, and it'll be the top of that Livescope. Top of that 32 will be flat for forward view, okay? Or if you mount it like mine to the bottom, it's forward view all the time. Now, I can go down view. All I've got to do is loosen those bolts and flip it to down view, but I don't use down view. Actually, I've never put my Livescope in down view. How many of you guys use down view? I've never done it. I always, because you can always see below you with forward view. So I mean, you can literally fish right below you with forward view. But I personally have never used down view. So again, know how you're orientating your transducer, because this guy said, I've been fooling with it for 2 weeks and it's not right. And I said, look, if you want me to come meet you at the ramp, I'll meet you at the ramp and I'll see if I can figure out what's going on with the Livescope. He said, yes, please, just come. He said, I'll pay you to come down, whatever. He said, just get it right. So I literally got down there and walked up to his boat and looked at it and said, your transducer's on wrong. He goes, no. He said, I've been fooling with that thing for 2 weeks. I said, it's on wrong. I said, you got an Allen wrench? He said, yeah. I said, hand me an Allen wrench. He handed me the Allen wrench. I loosened it up, flipped it back twice, flipped it around the other side, flipped it or clicked it 2 times, screwed the screws back in. I said, you're fixed. He said, nah. He said, ain't no way. I said, yeah, put the boat in the lake. Let's go. We put the boat in the lake, went literally right in front of the boat ramp. I said, there's a brush pile. Cast out there. He cast it out there. There's your jig. He said, I'll be danged. I mean, it was literally like 5 minutes. And it was all because he had the orientation of that transducer. So pushes is for the trolling motor. Okay, that'll help you guys out. Thoughts on the pros and cons of ACC 5, 6, and 6 foot for shooting docks and or casting. So first of all, I'll say, the 5.5 is a good rod, but I prefer the 6 for shooting docks because I get a little bit more distance on my shot than the 5, 6. So with the 6 footer, I get a little more distance. The 6.5 footer is a little bit too long for me. So I don't know if that was going to be your next question, but I'll go ahead and say the 6.5 is actually a little bit too long for me. I prefer the 6 for shooting docks. If I'm going to cast brush, I prefer the 6.5. The 6.5 allows me a little bit longer rod where I can get a little bit better hook set. And I like to have the 6.5 because I can cast it a little bit further. And I like the length of the rod, matches up well. But I prefer the 6 and the 6.5. 6 for docks, 6.5 for brush. But I'm sure 5, 6, and 6, you could do the same thing. I mean, I can go take a 6 foot rod and cast brush too. So if you're looking to buy just one rod for both purposes, the 6 footer would be where I would go because it is the better dock shooting rod, the 6 footer for sure. All right, sun up, sun down fishing with the new Livescope transducer. Can you buy it with a 0-degree mount for a pole mount, or does it come in the mount for the trolling motor? So the 0-degree does not come. It doesn't come with a 0-degree. It comes with a 7-degree offset, because what that 7-degree offset does, guys, is it offsets the transducer so that it doesn't pick up your trolling motor head when it's mounted on the trolling motor. Okay, so if you want a 0-degree, like I said, if you want a 0-degree offset, then you're going to have to buy that aftermarket. Probably, like I said, if you have a Fishing Specialties pole, get it from Fishing Specialties because they're coming out with theirs. But you can buy them from a lot of different places. You can buy a plastic 0 degree offset that is exactly like the one on the transducer for the trolling motor, the clamp. Okay, you can buy them with a 0 degree offset, which is what I would do. And actually, I actually think I have one, to be honest with you. Actually, I know I do, because when I first got Livescope, I did not have it on the Fishing Specialties pole. I made a pole and I bought the 0 degree offset bracket, which is around here somewhere. I don't know where it's at. I had one, but I don't know where it went. That's somewhere. It's in a box or a drawer somewhere. Anyway. Yeah. All right. Michael Lawrence, what's going on? Danny Rock, thumbs up for all the detailed information. Thank you, sir. Jimmy MC, did I miss anything? You missed a bunch, buddy. A bunch. All right, real quick. While I'm thinking about it, okay, because we've been on an hour, so let me think. Let me say this, guys. I'm going to give away a ton of stuff. Okay, I'm going to give away a package every month. So every month we're going to have a giveaway. How do you get entered into the giveaway? Well, there's two ways to get it entered into the giveaway. Okay, you can take whatever video you like of mine the best from YouTube, share it on your social media pages. Okay, when you share that video, you have to tag Wired for Crappie. So type whatever it is. Hey guys, check this video out. It's one of my favorites from Wired for Crappie. Hit @ type in Wired for Crappie. You're going to see my little Wired for Crappie page pop up. You click on it. It turns the little Wired for Crappie blue. It says Wired for Crappie. It posted as a link, and you hit share. Okay. When you do that, I'm going to get a notification on Wired for Crappie that you shared that video. Okay. The next way to get entered into the giveaway is when you guys post your fishing pictures. Okay. When you guys post your fishing pictures, I want you to tag Wired for Crappie. I want to see you guys catching fish. I want to see those pictures. Okay. I'm going to pick the first of every month for the next 3 months because it's spawn. Okay. So we're going to do it in, well, not March because we're already in March, but on April 1st, May 1st, and June 1st. Did I get that right? April, May, June. April, May, June. I'm going to pick a photo that I like best, and I'm going to give away a package. Okay. We're going to pick our favorite photo from all those photos, and we're going to give you a package of stuff. It could be bonehead baits. It could be line. It could be swag. It could be, Wired for Crappie swag. It could be Crappie Cove swag. It could be rods. It could be gift cards. It could be anything. Okay. But we're going to give away a package every month. But to get entered into that, I got to see your fishing pictures, guys. I got to see those notifications. And if you don't tag Wired for Crappie in your picture, hey, check it out, Wired for Crappie. You can say, hey, check it out @ Wired for Crappie. If you don't post those, I won't see them. Okay. So, like I said, you got to tag Wired for Crappie in that stuff. Share a video, post a fishing picture. Let me see those fish. I'm going to pick out a picture every month, and you'll get entered into the giveaway. I will pick my favorite picture every month, and you'll get a cool package full of stuff. Okay. So go ahead and start hitting it. Go ahead and start sharing them. And I look forward to giving some free stuff away. Okay. Also, when we get to 10,000 subscribers, I'm giving away a 2-day fishing trip with me here in East Tennessee. All expenses paid, your motel and your fishing license paid. You do have to buy your food and your gas because I don't know what you eat. I don't want to buy you shrimp if you're allergic like I am. So I don't want to do that. But you'll pay for your food and your gas to get here. But I will pay for the fishing, 2 days, 2 different lakes in East Tennessee with me, and I will also cover your fishing license, okay? And we will pick one subscriber. You have to be a subscriber to get entered into that. So, fishing photo giveaway and subscriber giveaway at 10,000 subscribers, okay? So, at Wired for Crappie and 10,000 subscriber giveaway. All right, let's see. For a greenhorn crappie guy fishing the spawn for the first time, how do you find a crappie spawning bay? You're looking for a large flat in the back of a creek, or off in a cut or something of that nature, something with a river channel, creek channel that feeds into it. Okay, you're looking for a well-defined creek channel that feeds back to a large open flat with structure. You're looking it's going to be different. Okay, let me say this: it's going to be different for white crappie and black crappie. So if your lake is predominantly black crappie, you're looking for grass. Black crappie love grass. So if you know where there's a bay with a bunch of grass in the back of it, they're going to flock to it. Okay. Black crappie love grass and small like pea gravel. So white crappie prefer structure. They prefer wood. They prefer stumps, blowdowns, logs. They prefer some type of wooden structure. So be thinking about those large, shallow flats, those large, shallow bays with a good defined creek channel that leads back to them, that has wood structure on it. Okay. And that's where you'll find white crappie spawning. Let's see. John said, just got my Livescope. Also, just going to enjoy it. That's the name of the game, is just enjoy it. For sure. I'm just going through some of y'all's comments. I'm gonna try not to miss anything tonight, but we've been on for a little over an hour. I normally run an hour, but we'll if you guys are okay with it, we'll go over a little bit tonight. I'm just gonna try to read through some of these comments and get some of the ones so I don't miss too many people. I know I'm gonna miss some people tonight, it looks like, but I'm gonna try not to. Larry Black, great video on the braid this past Monday. Been looking at different braids for a while now. It has helped me a lot. You're very welcome, sir. Well, Larry, I wasn't going to comment on it, but I will since you brought it up. So, find it funny that another YouTuber I watched posted a similar video. Kind of curious if he is the one that told you not to post yours, and he posted his in retaliation to yours. So, to answer your question, yes. Okay, I'm not going to elaborate because I don't feel it's right. But I do want to say one thing about it. You know, so my video, I tried to show you guys the data. Okay. It's one thing to get on here and talk, but it's another thing to get on here and show you the data. So I will say the video that was posted in retaliation is not the right word, but in answer to mine. there's no data. There's no data given. It's just, oh, here's what I learned, and oh, here's who I talked to that I'm not going to name, and here's here's what you should think, but I'm not going to give you data for it. So there was no data given, and that's fine. I would have hoped that there would have been some data to come back with and say, hey guys, here's what's happened. Sorry, there was a miscommunication, and we're going to make it right. But instead, it was we're going to play it as it's normal, but it's not. So that's fine. I just think that maybe if you guys watch that specific video, ask for the data. Just ask for it. That's all. Just say, hey, where's the data to back up what you're talking about? Because you hadn't given it to us. So, it's not wrong to ask for data, and it's not wrong to say, hey, this is my honest opinion, and this is what I found, and hopefully you guys take that, and if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But this is what I found. This is honest data that I gathered. Now, give me the data that shows me I'm wrong, and I'll be wrong. I don't mind being wrong. I love to be wrong because I learned something. But there was no data to that video. Would you agree, Larry? So I just, again, I apologize. I wasn't going to mention it, but you brought it up. I didn't want to leave it unturned or unanswered. So there you go. That's what it is. I'm sorry. Again, I'm not going to get off on that subject, but yes, to answer your question. So, catching with KTV. What's going on? He said, hello, ladies and gentlemen. First time here. Great information. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. Thank you for being here. It's always a lot of fun. If you have any questions or any comments or anything, please feel free in the comment section. Ask or say anything that is family appropriate, because we are a family oriented channel here, and anything you have or would like to say, by all means. Thank you for being here, and look forward to being here every Wednesday at 9 o'clock. So we're here every Wednesday at 9 o'clock from now until I decide I don't want to do 9 o'clock anymore. But what's up? All right, Danny Rock. Danny Rock said Larry Block. That's what I thought also. Yeah, well, there you go. Crappie Kev, very good question. Do you use a screen protector on your graphs? I was looking at graph glass from Precision Sonar. So no, I don't personally use any screen protectors on mine, but I have installed several of the screen protectors for guys that have come through the shop. So, they'll bring the screen protector to me and say, hey, can you throw this on there? And I'm sure, absolutely, I'll throw it on there. It's a really neat product, because my wife is horrible. I don't know if anybody else's wife is horrible with cell phones, but mine is absolutely bad with cell phones. She drops every cell phone she's ever had. She's broke every cell phone she's ever had. And I've been putting screen protectors on her cell phone for a long time, and they actually work. That screen protector will break before the actual screen breaks, which is a bonus for me because I don't have to buy 1,500 phones a year. It's a new screen protector. So I'm sure they work in the same way. And absolutely, I mean, if you are worried about cracking your screen, by all means, put a protector on it. It's not going to hurt it. And as long as you install it correctly, make sure you've got a perfectly clean screen. Make sure you don't touch that screen protector as you're putting it on. The ones I've used have had a little suction cup you can put on the front of it, lift it out of the package, and stick it on your unit. They work phenomenally. Okay, so great screen protector. Lake Sam Rayburn, Crappie King. Hello, just seen this live. Thought I'd check it out. What's going on, man? Sam Rayburn. I grew up on Sam Rayburn. Not crappie fishing. I grew up bass fishing Sam Rayburn. We used to camp down there. I'm gonna move back over here to my chair. My tuchus is starting to hurt sitting over here. All right, need my nice soft Ranger seat. So I grew up on Sam Rayburn bass fishing. I used to throw a red crawl bomber. A red crawl bomber was my favorite bait to throw. I'd throw it around marinas and docks on Rayburn and absolutely catch some studs. Love that lake. Absolutely love that lake. I want to get back down there so bad because I mean I fished it when I was like 8 years old. I want to say I was 8, 9 years old, maybe 10. But I was young. I was young when I fished it, and absolutely love it down there. No doubt, love it. So, very good lake, full of fish, a lot of fun for sure. So I know where you're at. Uh, Darren, does the mounting method on the pole you showed allow use of perspective view or just forward view? So it allows forward and down. It doesn't allow perspective. If you want perspective view, you have to get the perspective mount. Fishing Specialties actually has a perspective mount that'll mount to the bottom of the pole. So it's basically just like a little tiny um, ram mount. It's almost like a little, well, it is. It's a little tiny ram mount that actually mounts to your transducer, and you can use perspective. You can put it up in perspective. You can put it in forward. You can put it in down. It's a really cool little addition to the pole, and it mounts on the bottom just like that one on the cone, and allows you to have that 0 degree and all the other configurations as well. So to answer your question, that won't do perspective, but they do have one at Fishing Specialties that will do perspective. Okay. Scott, still hard water fishing up here in Wisconsin on the Mississippi River, getting 10 and 12 inches. The big ones don't start till mid March or so. Yeah, that's about, you know, well, obviously the big ones started last weekend here because Watts Bar put out 15 plus pounds with 7 fish, which is insane. We did not catch that, by the way. We finished third. We had a little over 11. We did not have a good day. We generally turn out 14 to 15 pounds ourselves, but it was not a good day for us. So um, we did finish third on the Watts Bar tournament last weekend, but the um, largest bag was 1531, I believe it was. So it was some studs for sure. But normally mid March is about when it gets going down here too, except for last weekend, which was insane. But it was impressive bag for sure, no doubt. Good question. Sun up, sun down fishing. How does the full moon in March affect the crappie spawn? So the full moon is always going to send a wave of fish to the bank. Okay, as long as the temperatures are right, as long as you don't have cold fronts or things of that nature, as long as it doesn't drop 30 degrees, the full moon is always going to send a wave of fish up to the bank. All right, it's always going to send those fish in. They can't help it. The gravitational pulls and things the full moon causes, it's proven. Okay, ask someone who works in a maternity ward if the full moon puts people in labor. They will tell you yes, because every full moon, the maternity ward at the hospital is nuts. Anybody with a nurse for a wife that worked in a maternity ward, say amen, because I'm telling you right now, it's real. And fish are the same way, deer are the same way. Game with a full moon, it just works a number on them. They're going up to the bank. Fish are going in, especially in March. It's going to send a wave of fish to the bank. It's not going to send them all to the bank. It's going to send a wave. Okay. And then the following full moon is going to send another wave. I mean, it's just going to be waves that are hitting the bank. So to answer your question, it's going to send a wave of fish to the bank. Okay. So you can always look shallow around the full moon. You always find fish shallow in March. Full moon. Mike, great info. Love the show. Thank you, buddy. I appreciate it. I love being here. I love doing it. I love talking with you guys, seeing you guys every week. It's become a pastime for me. So I really enjoy it. Yep. So there's Josh Sanders. Thank you, Josh. To be entered in the next 3 months worth of giveaways, tag at Wired for Crappie when you share your favorite video, or you can post your fishing pic on social media and tag Wired for Crappie. Absolutely. And let everybody know, let all your friends know, let everybody know. Tag Wired for Crappie in a fishing picture, and you'll get entered to giveaway. I'll pick my favorite picture, and you will win a a package. It's not going to be one pack of braids, okay? It's going to be a package. It's going to be a good package. It's going to be well worth tagging me in a photo, okay? Try to get to 10,000. We're at 9,800. We need 200 more subscribers, and we're going to get that. We're going to get that fishing trip. All right, so we're going to get there. It's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to take somebody fishing for 2 days. That gives me an excuse to tell my wife I'm going to fish for 2 days. Okay, you know what I'm saying? She's probably not on here because it's been on an hour and 20 minutes. She's probably got off by now. So I can tell you guys that with surety that she's not going to hear me as long as I whisper. So gives me an excuse to fish for 2 days. So come on, we got to get to 10,000. All right. Lake Sam Rayburn. What about people like me who has zero social media? Good point. So info at Wired for Crappie. Info at Wired for Crappie is my email address. Okay. Info at wiredforcrappie.com. Send me your fishing pics to my email if you do not have social media. Okay. If you have social media, tag Wired for Crappie in your pics. All right. If you don't, send it to my email. It'll be fine. Yeah, Scary Barry. He says, have to share my photos to my wife's to share. So that, yeah, if your wife has a Facebook page, share your photo to your wife's page, tag Wired for Crappie in it. The reason I want you to tag Wired for Crappie is because that sends me a notification that you shared a photo. Okay. If you share a photo, I won't see it. I won't see it unless you tag Wired for Crappie. So tag Wired for Crappie. That way I see it. What I'm gonna do is throughout the month, I'm just going to look at every post you guys share. I'm going to go to your post. And I'm going to say, oh, I really like that. That's my favorite. I'm going to hit save. And then if somebody else tags me later and I say, oh, I even like that picture better. Look at that. That's cool right there. Good night. Look at that. Look at that little girl right there. She's smiling from ear to ear. I like that one a little bit better. I'm going to save that one. And then if I find another one that I like, I say, man, oh, look at that thing. I'm going to hit save on that. And then at the end of the month, whichever one I have saved, I'm going to call the winner. Okay. So again, share, tag Wired for Crappie. I appreciate you guys. And I look forward to giving away a bunch of really cool stuff. All right. And whoever shares the post is who I'm going to contact. So if you use your wife's account, I'm going to contact her. I'm going to send a message to her and I'm going to say, hey, congratulations, you won. And she can message me back and say, nah, it really wasn't me. It's my husband. He used my account, but cool. And I'm going to say, well, let me talk to him. Here's my number. Tell him to call me. And you're going to call me. We're going to talk. You're going to tell me the story about how you caught it or where you caught it or who caught it or what happened. And I'm going to send you some free stuff. Okay. So win-win. And I appreciate it. I can't wait to see all the photos because I take photos all the time, but I don't always get to see y'all's photos. So I want to see y'all's photos. I want to see you catching fish out there doing what you do and putting what hopefully I've taught you something and putting that to good use and catching fish. So anyway, love to see it. Cody Ayers, since you mentioned the structure black and white crappie prefer, do black nose have a preference? Very good question. Okay, very good question. So black nose crappie is a black crappie. Okay, it just has a genetic trait that puts a black streak right down its nose. TWRA uses those crappie to stock with. It is a black crappie. It just has a gene. It's not a hybrid. It's not a cross. It is a black crappie that they put a line on their face. Okay, because it has that trait. All right, it just has the gene or the genome that gives it that black line on its face. Now, funny thing about black nose crappie is when a black nose crappie spawns, the offspring from that black nose, unless it spawns with another black nose, the offspring from that black nose the line is going to deteriorate slightly. Okay, And then those crappie go and spawn, and those offspring, that line is going to deteriorate slightly. And then the offspring from those offspring, the line's going to deteriorate slightly. And then over time, as that fish spawns in a natural environment, the offspring are going to begin to lose that line. And sometimes you'll catch a black nose crappie that right on the tip of his nose, he'll have a black dot. Sometimes they'll just have a little bit of a streak right here. Sometimes that bottom lip right there will have a little bit of a black dot on it. It's very faint, but that's an offspring from a black nose crappie. Over time, spawning in the wild, they will lose that black line. Okay. The reason TWRA, Cody, the reason that they use a black nose to stock with is so when they go back in shock or seine, they can tell. They put their trap nets out. That way, they can tell what kind of yield they had out of their stocking efforts. How many fish do they believe survived their stocking efforts? That's why they need that black nose on there, so they can tell those are stocked fish in Tennessee. Okay. Like Sam Rayburn says, he wrecked them Monday, got a limit of 25 giant black crappie in an hour or less. Was choking it without ever missing. First 25 were keepers without measuring. That's awesome. No doubt. That's awesome fishing. Scary Barry says, Matt, thanks for sharing so much info, teaching old dogs, bass fishermen new tricks to put crappie in the freezer. I watch a ton of fishing videos, but yours are 100% the most informative. Thank you. I appreciate that, buddy. That's why I started the channel. I love sharing information with you guys. I absolutely love being an open book. And, I guess maybe sometimes that is a good thing. Sometimes it's a bad thing. But, hey, I'm an open book, and I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. I love to teach, and I love to inform, and that's what I'm here for. So, I appreciate you saying that very much, Mr. Barry. And I'm going to continue to do what I do. I'm going to continue to be me, and I'm going to continue to put good content out for you guys because I love it. Clayton, very good question from Clayton. Have you experimented with Leadcore braid before? Does it show up better on Livescope? So no, I haven't. I've actually considered it, but I can't bring myself to buy it. But I would say that it probably does. That Leadcore probably shows up very well on Livescope, but I have not tried it. No, not personally. Larry Black, Wired for Crappie. Thanks for answering. Your video was much better and more informative. He has gotten to the point his videos becoming more for selling his products and not teaching. I won't elaborate on that. I hear you. That is why, as a matter of fact, about 2 months ago, those that followed the channel, I told everybody I was going back to teaching. I told everybody on my channel, I said, guys, I'm here to teach. I'm here to help. I'm here to be informative. And I'm going back to how-tos. I love doing how-tos. I love to do how-to videos. I love to do those things. I love to help you guys, where I'm sure some of y'all watch my videos and go, I already knew that. I don't know why I'm watching this. I'm sure that happens. But I'm sure there's one person out there that watches them and says, and I didn't know that. That's going to help me. I've been doing it wrong. I think over here in this creek, I can do that. And I think I could catch fish. I've been doing it wrong. And they go to the lake and they do it, or they're using the wrong color jig, or they're tying the wrong knot, or they're afraid to try braid, and they go to braid and they love it. Or if it helps one person, if I have a video that helps one person, I'm not here to make a living on YouTube. I've done said that. I'll say it again. I'm not here to get rich on YouTube. Okay. I'm not here to quit my job and work in YouTube. That's not what I'm here for. I love crappie fishing. It's a passion. It's a passion for me, a true passion. And helping you guys is even a larger passion for me. Helping, teaching. I love giving seminars. I love to talk. Obviously, I've been on here talking for an hour and a half. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's in my blood. It's in my bones. It's in my heart. So I told everybody I'm going back to how-tos. If I can help somebody, I'm going to help them. If I can help one guy catch fish, I'm going to help him. Can I go out and catch fish? Absolutely. Can I catch fish without that live scope? Absolutely. Can I catch fish without a boat? Absolutely. Can I catch fish without that trolling motor? Absolutely. I mean, you know, it's one of those things where uh, as long as I feel like I'm continuing to help, I'll continue to do YouTube. But I'm not here to make money. I'm not here to get rich off YouTube. I'm going to continue working my full time job. I don't plan on quitting. I plan on making content for you guys that is informational or informative, and keeping you guys, you know, up to date with what's going on with, you know, Wired and the club and tournaments and, you know, all the different things that we all talk about all the time. Speaking of tournaments, we'll talk about the ACC a little bit more, but uh, yeah, I'm not here to make a living. I'm here to tell you guys what is good product, what I love to use, what works well in the water, so that when you spend your money, like I said, you spend it and enjoy it. You spend it and enjoy it. So uh, again, I'm not going to whip a dead horse. I'm going to shut up now, move on. But I'm here for you guys. I'm here for all of you, each and every one of you. And if anybody ever has a question, if anybody gets stumped out on the lake and needs to know something, shoot me an email, info@wiredforcrappie.com. I'll get back with you. Now, that email address is one of 12 that I have. So if you shoot me an email and I don't get back to you in 30 minutes, please don't get mad at me. I promise I will get back to you. I have had some email problems though recently, and if you've sent me an email over the last few weeks, I might not have gotten back to you because I have had some email problems that I just learned about yesterday. So some of the emails through the website wiredforcrappie.com were not coming to me for some reason. So I've reached out to my website people and told them what's going on, and they're supposed to be working on it. I typically handle my website myself, but I can't figure out why. I mean, everything seems to be jiving on my end, and I reached out to them and said, "Hey, something ain't working, and I can't figure it out." So they're working on it. Hopefully, that'll get resolved. But anyway, moving on. Mike says, just to give you some props, I ordered some bonehead tackle after seeing you use it. Love those jigs and plastics. Thank you, buddy. You know, they're good product. And like I said, that's what I'm here for. I'm here to tell you guys what works and what's a good product. And, you know, everybody knows that's my go-to right there. All right, there's my go-to. That bonehead stump bug is my go-to. But if you look at this wall behind us, okay, there's Bobby Garlands, there's slab magnets, there's slab curlies, there's crappie magnets, there's sliders, there's jiffy jigs. There's more up there on that wall than just boneheads. Now, again, that's my go-to all day, every day. That is my number one. But I'm a tournament fisherman and I got it all. If I need it, I got it. There's hair flies, there's hair jigs, it's up there. Okay. It's all up there. So, you know, that's maybe an eighth of my fishing tackle, but it's up there. So it's a mess. My wife makes fun of me all the time for all the crap I got, but you know, like I said, I've got it all. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and tell you that you can only have one product in the boat, because all these products up here work, and I believe I could catch fish on all these, but that one is my go-to. So that's how that is. But I love them. They're very durable. They got great colors, and they work. They catch fish. Davis, what do you use to clean your screens? I have a bottle of alcohol in the boat. I'll put a little bit on a rag and wipe my screens off with it. I don't dump it on the unit. I don't dump it like on the unit. I've also used like little alcohol wipes. I also had at one point I had a little tub. It's like the little Lysol tub. It's not Lysol wipes. Don't use Lysol wipes. But they were computer screen wipes. Okay. So I've used those to clean them before, but those little tubs always seem to dry out. So I typically just take that bottle of alcohol, put a little bit on a rag, just enough to get the screen clean. If I don't have any of that, I'll just get a good microfiber cloth, get a clean cloth. Okay. And a lot of times you can take it, you can just put it over the side of the boat, get it a little wet, and wipe them off, you know, real good. Wipe them off with a cloth, get them good and clean. Mine was a little dirty. That's why I'm wiping it while we're talking. Um, and no, I didn't get it wet because there's no water in the shop. But a good microfiber cloth will actually take a lot off by itself without having to, like little water spots and stuff. It'll wipe it off. Uh, by itself without having to get it wet. But I'll always get it a little wet just to get it off, just help get it off a little easier. But that's what I use. A little alcohol. David said, buy your wife an OtterBox. She has one. That's the scary thing. She has one and still breaks all her phones. She's a mess. Love her. Love her. She's a mess. I grew up bass fishing, Rayburn myself. Just crappie fish. Spawned kinda in 2 years ago out my head down, and now I'm poisoned to crappie fishing. Yeah, I feel you. I was a bass fisherman in my youth. I'm still pretty young, but in my earlier youth, I was I was a bass fisherman, but bass fishing taught me a lot, and I still use a lot of what I learned bass fishing today, crappie fishing. Okay, so especially for offshore fish. I mean, offshore fish. God, it reminds me this Livescope deal, running and gunning offshore fish. It reminds me a lot of bass fishing, guys. It really does. It really does. So, um, that black stripe is just a racing stripe. Means they are fast. means they are fast crappie. Lots of laughs. That's pretty good. So, does anybody know how fast a crappie can swim? Let me ask that question. Does anybody, without Googling it, don't Google it. Does anybody know right off the hip how fast a crappie can swim? Be honest. No Googling. Don't be Googling, guys. No Google. Crappie swimming. Does anybody know how fast a crappie can swim? Daryl Quarles, can you see the orange braid as good as you can see the yellow, especially low light and cloudy days? 100%. Yeah. The orange stands out without a doubt. I mean, I hadn't had any problems orange braid. Um, and as far as its visibility, it's fine. I mean, you can see it just as well as the high vis yellow. Yeah, actually, you may be able to see it even a little bit better, especially on water. I mean, on water, it stands out pretty well. You're welcome, buddy. Absolutely. Thank you for asking. No doubt. Lake Sam Rayburn Crappie King says being open with info isn't going to affect you enough to matter nowadays. For most part, graphs and technology is so good now, nothing is hidden, and with time and effort, uh, trial and error, the average can get better and be good. Yeah, no doubt. I mean, no doubt. With graphs and electronics, I mean, the learning curve now has shortened. There's no doubt about it. Especially with Livescope, the curve has shortened, but there's still method behind the madness. Being able to go out on a day like last week on Watts Bar, most guys fish creeks on brush. There was not a fish in a creek on brush. You can ask the guys that fished in that tournament. It was a grind. You could look at 50 brush piles in the creeks, and maybe 2 of them would have fish on it, and they were just barely keepers. So in situations like that, and when you're throwing curveballs, think outside the box and start thinking about where you can find them. Put your patterns together. Look at your barometric pressures, your weather patterns, your cold fronts. Look at your water temperatures, time of year. All that different stuff plays a role in being able to locate fish consistently on a body of water, and color choice for bodies of water, and clarities, where fish typically set up. When water muddies, where do you go to look for fish? Shallow, because muddy water moves fish shallow. Fish move up in the water column. Now, it might not be 4 foot of water on the bank. It could be 60 foot of water, but they're sitting 4 foot down from the surface because it's so muddy that they got to get up in the surface or up in the water column to where light penetrates to where they can see, or, they're moving up to sun. So they're going to be shallower. Okay. A lot of rain, a lot of rain on the lake is going to produce a higher oxygen content on the surface because every time that rain drops, just like that fish tank over there, it's got a filter in it, and the filter. It's like a little waterfall that comes out into the water. What's it do? It creates oxygen in the water, and the top of that fish tank, right there where that water is coming in, is highly oxygenated, right? So, my fish, I'll come down here. Not my fish, my son's fish. I wanted to put crappie in it. He wanted little pretty fish, but we're gonna get crappie when all the little pretty fish die. So anyway, or get eaten by the crappie. Anyway, no, I'm not gonna do that to my kid. I'm not gonna let a crappie use fish. But the top layer of that is oxygenated from that little waterfall that's falling into the water. So on days where you get a shower that rolls in, right? You get a thunderstorm rolls in, it rains for an hour and it quits. The surface of the water is oxygenated. What do those fish do? They pull up. All right, because that oxygen level is increased on the surface from all the rain hitting the surface. It's just little things like that make a difference when you're out there fishing, especially in the spring when those spring storms come through. Golly, I'll tell you what, there was a tournament. I'll tell you this real quick. There was a tournament on Chick, struggling to catch fish, caught some fish, but struggling to catch a lot of good fish. Storm rolled in, sat under a dock for 2 hours. I was sitting under a dock. Underneath the dock beside me was another member of the club, and they said, "You done any good?" I said, "Nah, I haven't really done a whole lot of good today. I'm probably going to do something different after it stops raining." They said, "What are you going to do?" I said, "I'm going to put planer boards on. I'm going to go out there and put 2 foot of line behind the board, and I'm going to catch 60, 80 fish, and I'm going to cull them, and I'm going to win the tournament." They laughed. And after it stopped raining, I put planer boards on with Charlie Brewer sliders behind them, 2 foot of line behind the board in Agency Creek on Chickamauga. And I wore the fish out. I couldn't reel the rods in fast enough. And they come by there and they said, "You weren't kidding." I said, "No joke." I'm just reeling fish in left and right. I had 4 rods out and I couldn't keep them. I couldn't keep all 4 rods out. They were biting that fast, and ended up winning the tournament. And they came up to me afterwards and they said, "How in the world did you know that was going to happen?" I said, "Well, there was fish out there. I couldn't get them to bite, but I knew that rain was going to bring them to the surface, not only because the surface was disturbed by the rain, but it also added oxygen to the water." Was that a cold rain or a warm rain? I think it was a warm rain on it was cold water, cold surface with a warm rain, which warmed the water surface or the surface temp up, which also brought them up. Okay. So I just knew everything with that storm was going to bring those fish up, and it did. And I caught fish the rest of the tournament, one after the other, faster than I could. I couldn't reel them in fast enough. So it's just those little things like that these electronics aren't going to teach you. Okay. You're going to have to get with somebody that's got a little bit of knowledge. I don't have it all. I don't know everything. I'll never know everything. I learn every time I go to the lake, just like you guys. I was humbled last weekend on Watts Bar. I knew what I should have done, but I didn't do it. And it humbled me because I didn't think about it. I thought to myself, okay, this is what we're going to do. Now, we had a good bag of fish. We had 7 fish, 11 pounds, over 11 pounds. But we just didn't have what we normally have because one of the reasons was I was so baffled by the fact that there was not a fish on brush in a creek anywhere that I didn't even think about it. I drove right over several spots that probably had fish on them that I never even thought about. So, like I said, it's those things that, guys, and it's time on the water. It's not time staring at this. It's the thought process and, how everything sets up that's going to help you be a better angler and more successful on the water. Okay. Then you put these to use and you're deadly. Okay. Sun up, sundown fishing. Any info on another run on the Phil Bobber? Man, I'm trying. I message them every day. They're getting sick of me. I know they are, but I told them, I said, last message I sent them, I said, you just tell me how many it's going to take for you to run it again, and I'll buy them. So I'm hoping that you guys want some when they decide they're going to run them, because I'm probably going to end up with a bunch of these things. But I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Jojo, hello from near Memphis. New to your channel, enjoying it. You in Tennessee? Yes, sir, Jojo. I am in Tennessee. I am in Maryville, Tennessee, is where I'm at. Maryville. So I'm in East Tennessee, which is on the other side of the state from you, but I am in Tennessee. We're both in Tennessee. So hello, welcome to the channel, and I'm glad you're enjoying. Larry Black at Wired for Crappie, and thanks for sticking with the teaching type videos. You will have a viewer here if you do. I'm looking to learn and get better, not watch a commercial. Absolutely. I mean, I can't agree. I can't agree more. And that's what I love to do. That's what I love to do. Now, you know, do I like to talk about my sponsors, which are obviously I have sponsors. They're down here at the bottom of the screen. Sure. Crappie Cove and Fishing Specialties and Stowaway and Bonehead. And I mean, I love to talk about the products that I believe in. But I'm going to teach first. And that's my when I talk to a sponsor or a potential sponsor, that's what I tell them. I'm going to teach first. If you have a good product and you want to be a part of it, then absolutely. But I'm going to teach first. I'm going to be informative, and I'm not going to be a broken record commercial. All right. So as you can see, Larry, there's codes running across the bottom of the screen that saves you guys money. I ask those people, I say, look, if you want to be a partner with me, you need to give the subscribers something that they can benefit by. And that's what they do for you guys, is give you guys a code so you can save some money on your products. That's what it's all about. You guys saving some money on your product. So anyway, I appreciate you. And I'm going to continue to teach. That's what I'm going to do. So, Billy Noble, hello, Wired family. What's going on, buddy? Josh Sanders, 23. 12, wild guess. 32. 16. Scary Barry, but I'll guess Josh's answer is closer. That's because Josh Googled it. Cody Ayers, 15. 25 is my guess. Josh and Mike are right there around it. It's actually 25. 25 mile an hour is how fast a crappie can swim, if you believe that. So, I mean, I'll Google it for you guys right now. Safari stopped working. Why did Safari stop working? What's going on? Oh, okay. How fast can a crappie swim? That's centimeters per second. Miles per hour. If I can even find someplace. If I can find it on Google. Well, it doesn't look like I can find it on Google. It ain't popping up right away. So we're going to say 25 mile an hour. 25 mile an hour is the correct answer. Because I read that before. It's 25, and I can't remember where I read it, but 25 mile an hour is the correct answer. Crappie can swim 25 miles an hour. So when you're trolling and you're pulling your baits 0.8 to 1.2 mile an hour, or if you're pulling crankbaits and you think 2 mile an hour is too fast, 25 is how fast a crappie can swim. So if they want that bait, they'll catch up to that bait. Okay, guys? Promise you that. Scary Barry. Curiosity, according to Google, we are way off of how fast crappie can swim. P.S. I trust Matt more than Google. No, come on now. Come on. I appreciate you saying that, Barry, but I don't know about trusting me more than Google. Okay, Google's supposed to know everything, right? Doesn't Google know it all? No, I remember back when I was, I love to read, love to get immersed in all kinds of info. But I like good info. I UGA has a ton of good info, especially on deer hunting. I like actual factual info. I don't like just guy standing in front of a camera talking. I like facts. I like give me data. I want to see data. I'm data driven, so give me data. Let me see the data. And I remember reading 25 mile an hour was what I remember reading. 25 mile an hour, but there you go. That's what I remember. And like I said, I couldn't find it on Google. It didn't seem like it showed me centimeters per second, which I guess I could convert that. But yeah, sliders are my go-to for long lining. Yeah, I love a slider. Slider for long lining. Slider for long lining. A slab curly from Crappie Magnet, or a who remembers? They've almost went bye bye. Southern Pro Hot Grub. I've got a ton of Southern Pro Hot Grubs that I love to troll with, and it's almost like they've disappeared. Southern Pro, for some reason, I don't know where they went, but it's almost like they disappeared. I don't know. It's weird. Anybody know where Southern Pro Hot Grubs is going? Crappie setting up in the hot summer. They set up on deep brush in the creek channels on the main river. Deep brush, flats, deep flats on the main river channel on brush is pretty much where you can find crappies in the summer. It's really easy to find them in the summer, though, because you're looking for that deep structure in open water. Chris Jackson, yeah, we talked about that, buddy. Golly, y'all are killing me. All right, Chris Jackson, yes, I seen it. We talked about that already, and all I will say, buddy, is you're welcome to have to form your own opinion. I'm not. I know at no time did I say he had a bad product. At no time did I say don't go buy his product. I said you can be the judge for yourself on how you want to fish and if a product is going to suit your way of fishing. But I also will say this: was there any data in his video outside of the words he spoke? Did he give you any data? Did he give you anything, Chris, to say we're going to negate the fact that we're gonna show you the data to show you that that's not true? No, there's no data given in that video anywhere. It's just a guy standing in front of a camera trying to sell his line. Okay, so I wish he would give some data. I wish he would, and I'm just gonna throw this out there because golly, no, I'm not. I'm just gonna stop. I'm just gonna stop. I'm perfectly. I never. I'm just here to review the product. I'm not here to talk ill of anybody or anything. So, but I will say this: I did have a conversation with him because he called me. That was a week ago. He called. So, I would have I would have rather him taking that and saying, okay, let's go test our product. Let's test my product, and if I test my product and I get different results, I'll publish the results. But I didn't see any testing or any results from it. So, Byron said, "I want the bobbers when you get them." Absolutely. Barry, if I can get them to run them, I'll have them. So I'll let you guys know if I get them. Larry said, I bought several products you use because of your videos. Well, thank you. I hope you've enjoyed them as much as I have. They're good products. Tyler, yes, the new deucer will work with the fishing specialties pole. Yes, 100%, no doubt. Very good question. Matt, did you fish open water Saturday? If so, what did Scott Neal do different? So, uh, because I know what Scott Neal did, I'm not going to elaborate on that. I'm going to let them have their they spent a lot of time figuring out what they figured out, so I'm not going to dime that out for on them. I don't think that's right. I don't think they won the tournament. They fished hard. They did a very good job, and I won't allude to exactly where they were and what they did, but we did fish open water. They did fish open water. Um, they did fish structure that had a certain orientation to it, to whereas we did not fish structure with that orientation. Knew I probably should have, but I didn't. Uh, but we both fished open water, okay, and uh, they just they figured out they figured it out. They figured it out. So to answer your question, yes, we fished open water. They also fished open water, but did not. What they fished was specific to the conditions. Okay. Umbrella rigs. Umbrella rigs. I've never thrown an umbrella rig for crappie. I've thrown an umbrella rig for bass, and it'll wear your shoulder out. You can get carpal tunnel from throwing an umbrella rig for bass. So Tom, I plan to, buddy. Keep using and demonstrating with the products that you use. Absolutely, I will, no doubt. I mean, I'm not going to get away from talking about products. I mean, that's what YouTube is. It's to showcase products and to review and to talk and to show you guys new stuff. And I mean, I'm going to continue to do that, but I'm going to continue to teach too. I'm going to continue to teach conditions, and I'm going to continue to teach crappie fishing. So all the different stuff. A lot of good things to come yet. So it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Chris said, I'm 100% with you, bro. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Are you talking about there not being any data, not data driven? Uh, Oh, Ronnie Harris found some at Bass Pro. I'm sure there's still a lot floating around out there, guys. Those thills, I'm sure they're probably floating around. Yeah, Larry, that's actually so the Rod and Bob's 3-in-1 is the closest thing to the slip float ability of the Thill. I just wish I wish they wouldn't have discontinued that Thill. That thing, I love it. And actually, I had one tied on, and I was driving down the road and had it hanging out of the back of the boat on a rod, and it actually broke the line driving down the road. It was on mono, 4-pound mono, and it actually broke the line and blew the float off. So I only have 2 left. So I'm really upset about it. But anyway, you know, Tyler, how often do you use scents? I don't. I don't use a whole lot of scents. I believe more in contrasting colors than I do in scent. Scent, where do I believe it could change a fish's mind at some point? Could potentially, but I believe more in color and contrasting colors than I do scent. Pain to get untangled. Yeah, that's what I don't like about a spring too, is they are a pain to get untangled. So, all right, guys, we've been on for 2 hours. We're gonna call it a night. I appreciate each and every one of you, as I always do. Thank y'all for staying on here with me for 2 hours, because it is now 11 o'clock at night in East Tennessee, and we still are carrying over 50 viewers. So awesome. Thank y'all so much. I think we eclipsed 100 tonight. We hit, I think, 110 at one point or somewhere around there. So as always, I appreciate you guys very much. Don't forget, tag Wired for Crappie in your fishing photos and your little video clips or whatever it is you do. Tag Wired for Crappie so that I get a notification on those. I will pick one out every month, and you will be a winner of a nice package with a lot of cool stuff. I'll ship that out to you. I appreciate y'all as always. Hang on, I think I seen. I seen a comment. Mike said, "Oh wait, Chris Jackson. Yes, sir. No data. That's correct. I agree, Chris. Unfortunately, I agree. People aren't stupid. They know authenticity when they see it. You're the real deal, Matt. I hold your opinion in high esteem. Well, thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate you saying that. Because well, um, there are things I struggle with too, guys. Believe it or not. So, you know, um, I don't ever want to I don't ever want to offend a subscriber. I know sometimes you can't help things. I don't ever want to offend anyone personally, but reviews a review, and I can't. I mean, that would be lying if I didn't tell you about it. If I said, "Oh well, that one failed," I can't put that in the video because that's going to hurt somebody's feelings. Whoops, can't do that. That would be me lying, and I'm just not going to do that. I'm not going to lie to you guys. So, I appreciate that, Mike, very much. I appreciate it. You have no idea. I needed to hear that tonight, so thank you. But yeah, moving on. Thank you very much. All right. Let's see. Anything else, real quick? Put a barber stop on the line. Just keep it from getting caught in the spring. Best 2 hours of the week. Great as always. Thanks, Matt. You're welcome, Barry. I appreciate you being here, buddy. As always, thank you for the questions, comments. Always a blessing to have you guys here with me. Jeremy, Matt, I personally value your opinions, and that's why they are. And that's what they are. If you don't like a product, I want to know that. Well, thank you. And like I said, if there's something, it's not that I don't like it. It's not that I have a problem with it. It's just it didn't pass. In my opinion, it didn't pass. It didn't uphold what it said it would. So that's why I told you about it. Because if I didn't, I'd be lying. I'd know it, and I wouldn't be able to go to sleep, which I'm about to do. But I wouldn't be able to go in there and go to sleep if I knew I lied to you guys. So I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do that. No way. Jason, awesome channel. Thank you very much, buddy. I appreciate it. Final question. How's the baby doing? Baby is doing great. Haven't seen, heard an update in a while. Baby's doing awesome. I'm going to have him on here the next time he's awake for a live. I'll have him on here. Little Wired will be on here next time he's awake. I promise. Okay. He was asleep tonight, but next time he's awake, I promise he'll be on here. Okay, Barry. Barry's gonna Barry, uh, Barry's gonna look into how fast a crappie can swim for us. Uh, it looks like so. There you go. Keep it authentic as always. Thanks, Tom. I appreciate it. Barry says, if you like a product, I want to know about it. Sorry to keep you online so late. No, absolutely not. Hey, I love being here. I'll stay on here and talk crappie all night. I'll sit right here in this Ranger seat. It's nice and comfortable. I'll kick back, put my feet up. We'll have a good old time. But no, as always, I appreciate you guys. We are going to call it a night tonight because I have to work tomorrow. So thank y'all very much. As always, I appreciate it. God bless is the most important thing. I hope y'all have a blessed week. And I'll see y'all next week. Same time, same place. And bring questions. I'll be ready. And we'll see you then. See you guys. Good night.